Sam Sorbo is an actress, a writer, a producer, and a homeschool advocate. And she is really a homeschool advocate. I loved listening to her. She met her husband, Kevin, on the set of Hercules, and they have been an influence for faith and family, which in a place like Hollywood is not that easy, ever since. Now, they just produced a movie together with Sean Hannity called Let There Be Light. I went online to watch the trailer. It was so good, I immediately hit refresh and watched it again. I cannot wait for this movie to come out. I can see why Sam co-wrote a movie called Let There Be Light. The second you meet her, you see how deep the light is shining in her. She lights up a room. Welcome, Sam Sorbo.
So when I was asked to come and speak here, I thought, what can I say that all of these fabulous speakers haven't already said or won't say before me or even after me? And they pretty much said it all. So what they said. And I thought, what I want to talk about today is choices. We live in an instant gratification, a glamour-seeking, money is everything, me culture. Sometimes the hardest choice for a woman is to choose to be a mother. I made that choice when my future husband lay clinging to life in an intensive care unit. Kevin Sorbo suffered 3 strokes while we were engaged. And I made that choice away from my career to devote myself to him because he was going to be the father of my children. I made that choice again when my little toddler, Octavia, before she turned 2, scolded me for being gone for 3 hours. I picked her up and she turned to the nanny and said, "Bye-bye." And I realized then that that was a choice. I made that choice when I decided to home educate my children, to keep them close, to show them love, dedication, commitment, and yes, how to learn. And those were powerful choices, all of which our culture discourages today. The culture tells us that the powerful option is to choose independence and career. It tries to dictate to women what our priorities should be. And I'm here to tell you it's wrong. Contrary to popular belief, you cannot have it all. Because every time you choose one thing, you're discriminating against another. There will be compromise, but I'm also here to give you the power to choose and understand that there is strength in compromise. Every compromise involves choice, but choice is power. We live in a free country with freedom to choose. This is very powerful. My choice to be a mom was the most important thing I've ever done, likely the most important thing I will ever do. Moms are the glue in our society. Dads are important too, by the way. They are very important to a family, and I do believe we face a fatherhood crisis in this nation, which is partly why I created this movie, Let There Be Light, to speak to the fathers out there. But my choice to homeschool my children was likely the most personally beneficial thing that I've ever done, and that's why I've become an advocate for it. I never would have discovered that I am a teacher. In fact, school taught me that I couldn't be one unless I had a piece of paper from someone more accomplished than me. I never would have done a radio show, nationally syndicated, 15 hours every week. I never would have done that if I hadn't chosen to home educate my children. I never would have written a book. My book, They're Your Kids, an inspirational journey from self-doubter to homeschool advocate. Never would have done that. I never realized how necessary I was until I chose to home educate my children. And they would never have learned how necessary they are if I hadn't made that choice. I never would have co-written and produced a movie, That never would have happened if I hadn't chosen to home educate. And part of the reason is because my children taught me. And I believe that God gives us our children to teach us. And that when we send our kids away to school, we are rejecting that gift. Serena Williams was just interviewed about becoming a mom. What was that like? What did it feel like? And she said, "I'm about to be a real woman now, you know?" And she was lambasted and attacked for making that comment. It provoked outrage with the feminists that she would consider herself a real woman now that she was giving birth. And yet, isn't that kind of hypocrisy? I mean, who are they to criticize how she defines the words real woman? Who are they to criticize how she feels? Aren't these the same people who gave Jenner the Woman of the Year award? She just said, "We want that back." You can have it. These are the same folks who say you can have it all, but at the same time don't want to sacrifice anything. Sacrifice is everything. Nicolene Peck, I interviewed her yesterday, and I asked her, where does power come from? Where does your power come from? And her answer was, my power comes from God and my children. I find validation from my children, and they find validation from me. Being a mom means sacrifice. Does anybody argue that point? And yet, our culture tells us that that's the low road. That's not the big road. That's not the glamorous road. It's not the most powerful road. I disagree. I think it's glamorous. I think children are a great accessory. Mine are, anyway. Being a mom means sacrifice, but there is really great joy in sacrifice. Greater joy has the gift giver than the receiver. And so I just want to encourage you as moms and as dads, but specifically as moms. If you're not sacrificing for your children, you're missing out on the greatest gift. And as moms, we recognize that. And although the culture tells us that we're wrong, we know we're right. And so now all of you who know this, but I know you know this because you're here today, you need to go and share this message with the moms out there who feel conflicted because they're told that they have to go back to work. And so they put their children in daycare, or they put their children in public schools where the children are taught that they are accidents of nature. How much value does an accident have? We don't value children in this culture anymore. We don't value moms. We don't value dads. Where are people supposed to find value? So I encourage you to share this news, that being a mom is the greatest gift, that having children is a great blessing. They are not a burden, as some people would like to call them. They are not a burden, they are a gift. And you have a tremendous gift in being a mother that can care for her children, and I bless you. I wish you great joy in that. And may God bless you in your endeavors with your kids, and I encourage you to homeschool, and if you're interested, I sell my books at the table. They're your kids. Thank you so much. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.